So I just came across this on Fox News, and all I can say is, why am I not surprised? Dr. Leanna Wen slammed after admitting there's been overcounting of COVID deaths. Yes, 2.5 years late. She's a CNN medical analyst and a Washington Post columnist, and she's admitting that the COVID death numbers are wrong, have been wrong all along. But we couldn't say it. We couldn't talk about it because we were the bad ones. Okay. We were going against what the government was saying. We were wrong. But she readily admits in her column that people were in the hospital for other illnesses and they were counting them as COVID cases. Yes, there's Dr. Leanna Wen right there. She began her column with some apparent skepticism about the CDC's latest COVID 19 death stats. And according to the CDC and prevention, the United States is experiencing around 400 COVID deaths every day. At that rate, there would be nearly 150,000 deaths a year. The doctor claimed that understanding this distinction is crucial to putting the continuing toll of the coronavirus into perspective. Well, what's the perspective? That most of us knew all along that these numbers just didn't sound right. Every time as someone passed away in a hospital, they labeled it COVID. The doctor is admitting that's what was happening. And what will happen to her? Nothing. Nothing will be done. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. Somebody told an analyst that let's highlight this spot right here. Let's highlight this. All right. Let's see here. Since every hospitalization patient gets tested for COVID, many are incidentally positive. When noted how people with gunshot wounds or other serious illnesses often test positive for the virus. Well, that could be true, but I doubt it. If these patients die, COVID might get added to their death certificate. But if you go in for a gunshot wound and you die from that, they're automatically going to put COVID because you tested positive. Well, COVID didn't kill you. No, the gunshot wound did, but that's okay. Nothing will happen. And then whoever it is, this person went on to say that they admitted to this contributed to imprecise reporting on COVID deaths and hospitalizations, which he added did not come from a place of bad intent. I beg to differ, and that is my opinion. Okay. He denied that there was any conspiracy behind it to exaggerate coronavirus numbers for some nefarious purpose. The purpose was, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say the purpose was to make money. The CDC knew the numbers were wrong. They told us differently. Now it's all out there in black and white, okay? They knew that people were dying in hospitals from other things like the gunshot wound or a stab wound or an automobile accident or whatever. But if they tested positive for COVID while they were there, they automatically were a COVID death. No, the COVID didn't make the gunshot wound. It didn't make the stab wound or the car accident. That person most likely died from those wounds. So saying it was a COVID death is absolutely wrong. It's a frivolous lie. We all know the manufacturers wanted to make money, and they did. They made billions of dollars. Okay. We know Tony Fauci was behind most of it, but we had to believe everything they said because, after all, the government is always right. We can't question what the government says. But now I'm just putting this out there because they were all COVID lies. The CDC has also reported very recently that some of the shots may may be the reason for people having strokes. No, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor and I'm not spreading false information that's out there and that came from the CDC. But they want you to believe that if you keep getting the next jab, the next jab, the next jab, you will be okay. I, for one, don't believe it. No jabs for me. I'm going to risk it, even though every other week there's a new variant, this variant, that variant. They're going through the whole alphabet, apparently. But it's my opinion that we all knew about these lies. And now, 2.5 years later, they're all coming out. And again, nothing will happen to these people. They won't be reprimanded. They won't be fined. Oh, they were just honest mistakes. Yeah, the guy came in with a gunshot wound to his chest. So we tested him with a nose swab and it was positive. So when he died, we're going to attach COVID to that death. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's the government, again, just trying to control everything about your life. In my opinion, it's wrong. I just want to throw this out there and show you guys, and that's it. So do with it what you will. Go find the article on Fox, read the whole thing. But it's absolutely ridiculous that we have to keep going along with all these guidelines and stories and bullshit that this COVID is killing so many people when in fact they're attaching it as a label on someone's death certificate. And it's absolutely wrong. And that's it. And that's my opinion. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you real soon.